Okay, hello everyone. Um, Want to do an introduction here, do some baby steps, introducing you to infinite banking. I'm sure a lot of you are seeing on social media, TikTok, and other platforms with very short videos, kind of trying to share a massive concept, something that's going to change your life once you completely grasp it in a positive way. But they're trying to share it with you in little sound bites, 15, 30 seconds, 1 minute, even 3 minutes is nowhere near enough. So what I want to do is I want to create this video series to introduce you to the concept, and that's exactly what it is: infinite banking concept, also known as your family bank. I want to introduce it to you in baby steps, and then just let your head and your mind marinate over it while you're sleeping, while you're working, exercising, whatever it is you're doing. Your mind, that's how the human mind works. It keeps mulling over things and problem solving. So as your mind mulls over these things, in between each video series, you're going to have plenty of these aha moments, and then hopefully by the time you're confident and excited about all of this, you'd reach out to me and I'd be happy to help. But even if you go to someone else, you're going to have the understanding through this video series so that you don't get taken advantage of, basically, because there are ways to build this and to do it. It's not improper, but it's not for your best interest. It can be built in a way that it's going to fill the pockets of your agent or broker more you know than it should. And the reason I say that, it's not unethical for the agent to make money, but anyone who truly understands this wants most of their money to go into that savings account that I'm about to go into that cash value. They don't want to fill your pockets. That was never their goal. So if that is what you want, and once you understand this, I think that is what you will probably want. You're going to want majority of your money not to be paying commissions, but a majority of it to be going to your family bank, to the infinite banking concept, to benefit, your posterity. So let's dive right in. This was the introduction video. I'm not going to do this introduction from here on out. We'll just dive into the baby steps one at a time. But let's dive in. So here we have two different graphs. On the left graph here is demonstrating what 95% of people still do today. That could be even higher. That might even be a little too generous. Might be 98, 99%. So we have two types of people. You have to identify who you are to really understand how infinite banking is going to help you. So number one, are you a saver? Is your account at zero, and then you have a car you want to buy, you save, and then you spend, bringing the account back to zero. You buy the car, counts at zero. And then you have a house you want to buy, you might save up for that. Most people don't do it in cash, but there are some people that do. They save, and then they buy the house in cash. So are you the saver, where you start at zero and then you save your money and then spend it and bring your account back to zero? Or are you the borrower, which is the bottom person two, the spender? Do you go into debt, bringing your account from zero into the negative territory, and then you just repay it or pay it back? So which one are you? You got to know who you are, and you might be a little bit of a blend of both, but that's neither here nor there. So identify who you are, and now we're going to go over to what 5%, at least according to this graph. How do the 5% or the wealthy people? How do they buy things that they want? Okay, so this graph here, I'm going to let you look at that for a second and just see if you can figure out. The color coding is the same. You have the savers that have the blue color coding. You have the borrowers that have the red color. So time's up. Let me go into it so you can understand. So with an infinite banking or a whole life policy, you are going to be overfunding your whole life policy on purpose. You're going to be putting more than the policy demands for the insurance side of things, for the death benefit and all of that. So why would you do that? Because you want to have a savings account that is sheltered and protected and can grow tax-free. And not only can grow tax-free, but is contractually going to be growing for forever. So you see the difference here. On the left, you save and then you go to zero and you start all over. On the right, the wealthy, they save and then they borrow against what they've saved, not from what they saved. Again, they borrow against from what they saved, not from what they saved. So the charts look very different here. Can you see the difference? Every 5 years, this saver goes to zero. Every 5 years, this borrower goes back to zero. They barely repay everything. But every 5 years, the wealthy are compounding their savings in this whole life policy that they are overfunding. They are paying more than they need to on purpose. And then they're borrowing against it, using that savings account as their collateral against it, not from it. So that continues to contractually compound somewhere between 4.5. Actually, it's best not to promise, but it's going to compound. Any amount over zero is a good amount, right? So it's compounding at a positive rate of return on that account contractually forever. So everything you put into it to save, and you only borrow against it to buy that car, and you pay the car back while the opposing forces are compounding, it's growing. So your debt here is paying back, and then eventually your savings account in the whole life policy has appreciated. So when you borrow again to pay it back, it's from a higher point. So I'm not sure that I want to go into any more than that today, but I want you to think about that. The wealth do both. They save and they borrow at the same time. So hopefully that's good enough for tonight. Think about that. Like I said, marinate on it for a bit. Your mind is gonna try to figure out, how does that all work? Good. Let it work. Let your mind do its thing. And then in the next video, we'll cover, step number 2. So make it a fantastic evening. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.